Welcome everybody. Today we are having Live2Create on our featured employer Friday. We have Parker Hughes, who is currently a student. She is just about to graduate, to tell us about Live2Create's mission, some of the works that they do, and the internship opportunities that they have. So Parker, if you'd like to introduce yourself, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, I'm Parker. Like she said, I am class of 2021. I technically finished my degree in the fall, but I wanted to finish some stuff up, which is why I'm still here because I just love Oglethorpe. But yeah, so I work with Live2Create as a program administrator, and that means I get to take care of all the intern stuff, which is super duper fun because I used to be an intern. And Live2Create is a Atlanta-based nonprofit. It's a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit organization, and basically we strive to promote social and emotional well-being in the lives of at-risk youth in Greater Atlanta. So, at-risk youth is a term that we use to describe students who are living in communities that have low well-being. Low well-being can be um, anything from high crime rates in their area, a low rate of poverty or food insecurity, high rates of teen pregnancy or teen drug and alcohol abuse, or low rates of graduation from high school or moving on to college. So, those are all things that we kind of categorize as at risk and low well being when we are talking about these students. We help all students in Greater Atlanta, although we do typically work with students of color. And we have found that a great way to address the needs that these students have because they are living in low well being environments and they're going to schools that maybe don't have the same funding as some other schools is to give them opportunities for self expression and to have personal investment through mentorship. Mentorship, my bad. So, basically, we like to use the expressive arts. So that can be anything from dance, singing, photography, studio art, theater, improv, you name it. We found that these kids they get empowered and educated when they have something to take all that energy into, or whether it's having a bad day or problems at home or just a lot of energy. It's really empowering for children to have extracurricular activities, especially ones that are art based. And so those programs that we set up for them really help them to round out. They grow socially and emotionally, which increases their personal well-being, increases their grades in school, and we hope by the time that they are seniors and turn 18, they can go off to college feeling confident in themselves, even though maybe they grew up thinking that they weren't worth that confidence because they grew up in an area that did not have the same things as other better funded areas or school districts. We also use a network of teaching artists and community advocates. We partner with schools, faith institutions, and other community groups, and we provide mentoring, workshops, and events for youth development, academic enrichment, and career readiness. Um, our curriculum focuses on six core areas of development. Sorry, identity, belief, behavior, environment, capability, and spirituality. This motivates our students from when they first join the program to when they graduate and hopefully move on to college. It helps them to be stronger in themselves, to feel empowered, and to overcome the obstacles that being in an area of low well being could put on students. So they have in school mentoring. So we'll partner with schools and they have in school mentors, so people who are investing in them personally and their success, as well as after school mentors who are equally investing in them personally and their success, as well as sometimes tutoring and other events and workshops and classes that just says, hey, you're doing a great job. You are worth feeling confident and successful, and we're here to make that happen. And what's really great about us is that, sorry, really great about Live2Create is that all of our students don't have to pay anything because we're a nonprofit. And so anytime someone donates or they buy a shirt or a merch item, they are helping a student get these amazing, empowering workshops or mentorships or programs. And so that's kind of what we do in a very elongated nutshell.
Yeah, it seems like the reach is very far and wide. I'm curious, how many staff members are at Live2Create, and how many teaching artists and mentors do you have?
Yeah, so we work with a couple of different kind of rotating teaching staff. So our main staff right now is pretty small. It's Amy P. McIntosh, who's the founder and president, and then Demetrius McIntosh, which is the co-founder and the artistic director. And then we have a couple revolving people who kind of come in. For instance, Nikki is one of my coworkers, so she'll sometimes come and do program development. Naya is another program administrator like myself, and she and I kind of switch off when she's working on her other businesses. And then there's myself, and I'm the full time program admin. And so it's pretty small right now because we're a new nonprofit. We've only been around since about 2014 in Atlanta, but we're looking to grow. Our goals in the next year are, so in 2022, is to have a full time staff team, probably looking at 5 to 8 people, which seems like, whoa, that's not a lot of people, but for a nonprofit where, you can't make that money back, the money is funneling right into these students, that's a really big goal. Um, and the same goes for our teaching artists and our mentors. We have tons of people coming in and out of the program constantly on short-term contracts, long-term contracts, and so the number kind of shifts. I am not entirely sure of the current number right now because it's almost summer, but that number should be updated on our website soon of who is teaching in the fall and how many mentors that we have. But that number is coming to a close since kids are going to be out for summer break.
That's great. So you were an intern before you became a full-time employee. Congratulations on the job. I know you started last month. Can you kind of talk us through your journey on like how you got the internship, what your experience was like, and what you're doing now?
Yeah, so I am a double major in theater and public health, and I am really passionate about combining health care with like the expressive arts. And so this company is the best thing for me ever. It's like the two combinations of something I'm really really passionate about, which makes me very happy. Um, but I didn't actually seek out Live2Create for that reason. I was taking the third class for the public health concentration here at Oglethorpe, and the third class is public health like in action. So you have to get an internship, and then you meet every 2 weeks, and you just kind of talk about what you're learning, which would usually just be great. Most of us get shipped off to the CDC and we like enter data for a semester. But COVID happened, and suddenly half of our internships fell through because the funding had to be shifted over
Mhm.
to other causes. Everything was suddenly online. So these foundations, these labs, such and such didn't have the funding anymore for interns to come in, especially right in March when we were like starting to think about our internships. And then we all remember how stressful the summer was. And so I remember me and all my classmates, we were like wringing our hands, like, oh my goodness, where are we all going to go?
Mhm.
And so thankfully, everyone ended up finding an internship. But my friend Madison and I, who were in the class together, just we were pouring over handshake, and we saw Live2Create, and she also does public health and studio art. We're like, oh my gosh, this is totally up our alley. The arts and public health, like preventative care and personal investment, is a type of public health that she and I are really into, which is basically instead of the response to public health disasters, so like the response to COVID, the response to Ebola, the response to teen pregnancy, we ask, what can we do to prevent this from happening? Is it something sociological? Is there medications we can give? For instance, your HPV vaccine or your COVID vaccine, that's preventative healthcare. And so that's what
Mhm.
she and I are really into. And that's what we categorize Live2Create as far as public health is. It's a preventative measure to increase well-being in people. And when their well-being is higher, they're healthier. And so I was a program coordination intern, which meant that me and Madison got to coordinate fundraisers and programs. I got to write a lot of press releases, which was really fun because I didn't actually get to do that a lot. And she and I we planned like our own paint and sip fundraiser, like virtually over Zoom. And this was before we all were
Fun.
like geniuses with Zoom. So it was a really dynamic internship. We were always getting to throw in ideas. We weren't just being told, do this, do that. She was like, Amy was our overseer. She's like, what do you think you could bring? What do you want to do? What is your strength and how can we utilize that? She sees in everyone like their thing, their special strength. And even if you're hired for this job, she's going to take that special strength and she's going to pull it out of you and make use of it. And so she absolutely did that with Madison and I. And we had a successful fundraiser and we made successful, stuff for social media and also those press releases. And yeah, we just like really clicked. And I turned around and I said, hey, I'm looking to like get my post grad job. And she was like, oh my gosh, I was just thinking about you, and it just worked out really really well. And so I'm very lucky, but I'm hoping to spread that that luck to some other
That's
students.
amazing. I love that you had a manager that really was able to see all of your qualifications and your skills, and that she was so encouraging. Um, yeah, and I love that you plugged in Handshake because I know all the internships that you're about to talk about will be available on Handshake,
Yeah.
correct?
Hmm.
Awesome. Well, so why don't we just dive right in and you tell us about all of the internships that you are looking to hire, and what are some helpful tips that you can give our students so that they can be considered?
Yeah, so everything is currently live on Handshake, which is great. We are hiring for the summer one, two, three, four, five internships, and likewise five for the fall. So the summer internship is going to run from, and these dates are soft depending on schedule. These are a general outline from the 31st of May to the 30th of September, and then from the 1st of October to the, I think we said 15th of December. Again, these dates aren't hard. This is just a general outline because school schedules and things are different, but they last about a semester's length and they can be used for school credit. Also, considering how many hours you do, and if this is more work based rather than education based, some of these have a stipended offer. You kind of have more details on that once you apply, and we kind of see what you're looking to do, what your schedule for working looks like, but that is an option. So, paid internships are currently available, but kind of have to talk to us to get a little more info on that one. But basically, I'll start with our first internship, which is social media. I know a lot of students are really great at social media. And because of COVID, we really have to hone in on that. And we are really, really kind of drive in our brand right now. We are trying to boost engagement. We are trying to make a name for ourselves in Atlanta. And we are trying to really make our page look cohesive and engaging while promoting our fundraisers and our products and our programs. So we're looking for dynamic students who, it would be nice if they had an eye for design. And this is really good for people who are doing communications, but also good for theater or business. We're looking for someone who has an eye for design, an idea of when is the best time to post, what things will engage people the most, how do analytics work. You'll get to learn how to run a business based Instagram, but one where you're not selling a product, you're trying to get people to just, donate or, buy a t-shirt, which is in a way a donation, or just to be interested in you. So this is maybe a more of a challenge. So if you're someone who thinks you need more of a challenge in maybe your social media or in your business development or your communications education, this might be a really great opportunity for you. And like we said, we like to keep things very open. We want to see what are you really good at and take it out of you. So if you're like, I've got a super secret skill, or I'm really good at Instagram stories, or something like that, we want to hear about it. So definitely for all of these, when you're making your application, we want to see a cover letter that really says, what are you really good at? What do you really think you're going to bring to Live to Create? And not just, I'm a hard worker, I'm diligent, I'm on time. There's something special about you. You can do something really, really well. We want to see what it is so we can use it. So that's the social media internship. And like I said, that is one for the summer and one for the fall. Next, we have a PR internship. So this one's a little bit different than public relations because, social media. because typically we would be out and about, but COVID happened. So this internship is kind of developing as vaccines roll out and we are seeing what our options are for getting back on the streets. I'm sure people have seen before, people stand outside of Pont City Market or the Kroger with like, UNICEF and things like that. We don't really want to go as far as that, but we're looking for options to get out there and meet people who maybe aren't on social media, get ourselves a news publication. So, like I did, writing press releases. This is really good for people who have a focus on marketing or mass communications or sales. If you're someone who's good at convincing people to do something, this is a great internship for you. And like I said, we're going to offer a summer and a fall option for that. Next, we have my favorite one because it's the one that I did, the program coordination interns. And we have one for summer and fall. So, program coordination interns probably do some of the most work in your internship, and you get to work with me, and I get to tell you what to do. But program coordinators and also serve as curriculum developers. So, you get to come in and help us think of programs to do. So, we have to, this is a big year to do this because hybrid learning is really starting to shape its way in a new phase because vaccines are rolling out, kids are returning, but some kids are staying home. Some schools are going completely online. Some schools are like 2 days out of the week are going to come in. We have got to meet the demand of these schools in whatever way that they're choosing to do their lesson plans, which means some of our mentors are going to be in person and some of them are going to be online and some of them are going to be both. So these program coordination interns are going to come in and help us research and read and develop these plans, these curriculums, find out what is the safest thing to do, what makes the most sense, what makes the best use of our funds. This is especially great for anyone who's on a teaching dual degree or in a project management degree or any kind of management or nonprofit management, especially. This is an awesome opportunity to really get hands on with developing programs or projects. You might also dip your toes into some fundraising stuff, but that's a little bit more on the next internships plate. But yeah, program coordination and curriculum development is super duper fun. It's very challenging, but very rewarding. And like we said, we want to hear your ideas. We love to just sit and listen to people's ideas. And so if you're like, I just went through, a year and a half of online schooling, here's what I think is really going to make this, make a difference. That's what we want to hear because we're trying to meet our students where they are and also support our mentors. So that's a huge role right now. So we need plenty of program coordinating interns to come in for the summer and the fall. Next is the event coordination intern, again, summer and the fall. So you're mostly going to help us with fundraising events. Most of them are still virtual just because we're trying to be as safe as possible, even though our team is vaccinated. I did forget to mention all of these are remote. All of them are remote, which is really, really great. But they are Atlanta local. The event coordinator is going to help me with fundraising, making plans of action, working with our social media and PR group to make press releases and social media campaigns. You're going to research, if we were doing a spirit night, for instance, okay, we need to research what's the best day of the week for people to go out to dinner. Where does this age group go out to dinner? How much is one meal average? How much can we get back? And then, we take all that data, we figure out what's going to make us the most money, or just coming up with interesting ideas for events and fundraisers. Like I said, Madison and I planned a paint and sip that went over Zoom. Recently, I worked with the Delta Sigma Phi and Alpha Kappa Alpha chapter here on campus, and we did a Instagram story fundraiser, and they raised over $2,000. So this is a great idea if you're someone who's got big ideas, you're creative, so maybe a theater major, studio art majors, but also people doing marketing and advertising and communications. Because you're like, how can I get people to donate, but I don't just have to ask them for money? Because we try to avoid just saying donate because that's not interesting. So if you have big ideas, this is a great opportunity. And our last internship, again offered through summer and fall, is our accounting internship. So accounting students, business students, this is for you if you're good at math and you need some really good experience. Accounting for a nonprofit is an awesome thing to do because money moves differently there. Um, it's pretty cut and dry. You're going to help us with accounting. We'll, walk you through things you don't know. But this is a great learning opportunity and it's going to really stand out on a resume. So yeah, like I said, those are all on Handshake. You can apply on Handshake, or if you just don't, or if you aren't using it, I don't know why you wouldn't be. Feel free to send me an email at parker@live2create.org. So it's LIVE, the number two, create, CREATE.org, and just be like, hey, maybe I don't know which one I really fit for yet. I will guide you through the process. I'm sure career development can help you as well. But those are the 5 positions that we're offering right now. They're for summer and fall, and they do have stipended options.
Thank you so much for sharing that in detail, Parker. We do have a question. Because these internships are remote, we are curious, who will be the internship supervisor and how does supervision work and what does it look like?
Yeah, so I supervise you. Yay. So we work over remote. So if you get hired, we sit down, we go, okay, what's your schedule look like? We're looking for interns who hopefully can work 2 to 3 days a week for 2 to 3 hours. So beginning of the week, when your first shift starts, we'll probably sit down over Zoom and talk about your goals for the week. So, okay, here's what's on our list. Here's what I would like you to do. What are you thinking? Do you have ideas? Obviously, my inbox is always open, but I like to sit down, face to face as much as we can and figure out what's going on in your head and tell you what I need you to do. So we'll sit down for, 15 to 30 minutes looking at the week, and then I will send you on your way. We use the app called Harvest to log our hours. And what's great about Harvest is not only can you track your hours, but you can also put in the description what you're working on. So I can see what you're using that time for. If I feel like maybe, oh, can we dedicate a little more time, this day to this project? Or you spent a lot of time on this project. Do you need any direction? Can I help make this make more sense for you? Or is it just taking that time? So, even though I'm not there looking at you, I can kind of see what you're doing and it's my job to be there. It's a small company. I have a lot on my plate, but I'm there to make sure that my interns succeed and are taking the weight off of the staff's shoulders. And so if you have a problem, if you have a question, I'm going to be right there to pick up and help you figure out where you go and get you back on track.
This is so great. I mean, you are the connection. So students really need to apply, and Parker is your way into Live to Create. This is awesome. Yeah, did you have any special tips for students besides, using Handshake? And of course, you did mention career development is available to help you with your reviewing your resume and writing your cover letters so that it fits the internship description and what they're looking for. But yeah, if you have any special tips you wanted to share, feel free to share.
Yeah, I would say I have, I think, 3. The first one is if you are applying for a PR or a social media position, we'd love to see samples of your work. Even if it's not social media, just if you're artistic, we'd love to see it, but it's not required, but we like seeing it. Um, Secondly, we really like to hear how you think that this cause impacts you. It was easy for me to be very empathetic to my job because I grew up, lower class, and I totally relied on going to theater and choir to kind of keep me going when things aren't going well. So I really understand the students that we work with that it's really stressful if you live in an area of low well-being. And really just using the arts to like keep you going. Like that is your home away from home. That is your stress ball. That is your punching bag. And you just get to make awesome stuff using the stress from the day. So you can come in your cover letter and tell us like why our mission resonates with you. That's really going to stand out and help us know that you understand how important what the work we're doing is. And lastly, and I said this a couple times, we really want people who aren't afraid to talk. We're a small foundation, but we are very mighty. And what makes us so strong is that the people who work with us have got very special talents and skills. So if you know that you're good at something, tell us. Tell I'm really good at this thing. We're going to be like, great. If you know some people, tell us you know some people. if you did a project in the past that you think, if you even think like this doesn't totally like line up, like maybe you directed a play for school, maybe were like music chair of your fraternity, something like that. Even if you think it doesn't line up, if you are really good at it, we want to hear what you're really good at, because chances are we can take that and help you develop it into an awesome like resume credit skill set. But yeah, just like be honest, be yourself. You don't have to be super professional. I am wearing a tie, I'm straight laced business person. We want to see you. You're working with kids in the arts. So be fully yourself, and that's really going to make you stand out.
Parker, thank you so much. These sound like amazing internship opportunities. You seem like you're going to be an awesome supervisor because you
Thank
had great
you.
supervisors. So students, please, please apply. You do not want to miss out on this opportunity, not just for an internship experience, but for your own career growth and your personal growth. So thank you to our attendees for joining us today. We will have this available on YouTube at Oglethorpe's channel. And my name is Nicole Kang. I am in career development as the employer relations manager. Reach out to me with any questions. If you need to get in touch with Parker, you can get in touch with me too. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great weekend.